Hey YouTube, it's Tooty and this is my overview, review, thoughts, pickups, swaps, trades from Play Expo 2015 Manchester. This is a really freaking annoying game because the background music's really low, but when it goes into the fight, which is only for a very short period of time, the music ramps up, the volume ramps up. Anyway, so yeah, this is just my thoughts on it basically. So for me, it was always going to be a slightly different event than in previous years, and your Blackpools and stuff like that. Because I went with my eldest daughter. I've got a little bit of footage. Let's say it wasn't really that kind of event for myself. I know a few of the lads, kind of went up on the Friday, met up, a few jars and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it was always going to be a little bit different. So in terms of the footage, I probably, do you know what? I wasn't too fussed about not getting a great deal of footage. I mean, I did get some, and I will link it in it, and it's mainly just my daughter playing on some of the arcade games, which were, I must admit, pretty damn good. There's loads of pinball tables. It's quite difficult to get on anything yet again. But I think my overriding impression is it's kind of dying. I think a few of the lads would probably agree with me with that. In terms of its essence and what it started off as and what it's become, they've lost its soul, its essence. I don't know. It's not the same event, not by a long stretch. It's still pretty good. I mean, like I say, I went up with James, so I should have said that first. Big thanks to James. I know a few of the lads are trying to get to make videos. I will put his channel down below, so please harass him to make videos. He's got a pretty impressive Game Boy collection. Into his import stuff, he does have a contact in Japan, should we say. Well, I'll leave him probably to elaborate on that if he so chooses. But yeah, definitely harass him, send him PMs, send him wall messages, telling him to make videos. So yeah, big thanks to James for taking us up there. It did make things a hell of a lot easier. I only had 2 beers anyway. I think he was panicking that because he was driving. I'd mentioned in the last video, I might be able to have a couple more because I was only ever going to have one or two anyway at lunchtime. But yeah, it just didn't work out that way. Like I say, when you've got your kids, you kind of have to be a bit more on the ball, and you can't. Even I have to behave. Let's put it that way. So. I say, for me, it used to be that all the merchandise and all the figurines and all that, all the pretty cool stuff, man. Let's be honest. They were, what's the word I'm looking for? They were additional. They were like, the sort of to complement the sort of the games, retro, the retro side of it. But it seems now that they've instead of complementing it, they've become the sort of dominant force. And the word on the street is that next year, that event, Manchester Play Expo in October, will be Manchester Comic Con or words to that effect, which is a real shame. I spoke to a couple of the guys who have stalls there after going for a good few years. Now you do get to know people and faces, and they said, yeah, that's the word on the street, which I think is a real shame. So what I sort of inferred in the last video was essentially, and people will probably correct me, and if I'm wrong, I do apologise. This is just what I've been told, so don't shoot the messenger. But essentially, Play Expo used to be made up of three individuals. One of the individuals sort of sold the company under, or sold the company out underneath the other 2 guys. So they've all fell out. It's been sold to some sort of big conglomerate, Showcase Masters or something, who run events. And yeah, I think a lot of the traders, one of the guys that I know, Rick from Warp Zone Gaming, I messaged him last night, so I didn't see you there. I had some money, I was waiting to burn some cash on the NES titles. And he said, yeah, I didn't go because it was literally the last minute, 11th hour. They messaged him saying, oh, to confirm his spot, and it was too late for him to organise anything. So, yeah, they're kind of, and even he said they're just complete a-holes, so it's a shame. But we did, again, a few of us were sort of chatting, and I think for us, for what we go for, which is mainly the retro and the social side of it, these markets, I think, are probably going to be the way forward for us. You know, it's nice to go to these big, huge events and stuff, but if you're only interested in, you know, 50%, 40% of what's there, then it's kind of like, yeah, what am I? And Manchester isn't, you know, it's easy enough, relatively easy enough to get to, but it's not the closest place either. But even the event, the event itself is not. It's not like in the centre of Manchester. It's kind of out towards the Trafford Centre, and obviously then you're fighting all the traffic that comes from that. So, you know, I think before there was there was like, you know, you can sort of offset them sort of negative bits because it was such a great atmosphere. It's a great, you know, a great event. But again, I'm not taking anything away from it in terms of, like, my daughter loved it. She wants to go again. James really enjoyed himself, and that's the main thing. You know, if you know, you don't miss what you never had, essentially, do you? But for us sort of old hats, if you like, you know, I think if you're honest with yourself, it's kind of lost a little bit of its spark, which is a shame. And yeah, perhaps, like I say, maybe these markets, because obviously the markets are only on for one day, but let's be honest, we only really go to the Play Expo for one day, so we could even just go down on the Friday night. I think the next one's in Leeds. So the other thing about that is there's the people that ran the Leeds Retro Market, which the second one we went to was really good. They're from Retro Collect, but again, I think two of the guys that ran it fell out, so they've splintered. So the one that's in Leeds at the end of this month is one of the Retro Collect guys, and it's called something else. And then the one that's in Doncaster next year is the other guy. So it seems like everyone's falling out. Business in it. Don't miss business and pleasure. So they say, or family or whatever, friends. But there's just plenty going on. So food for thought might be, you know, say, to make a bit of a weekend out of one of them retro markets, perhaps, which I know that Daz and a few of the lads are going to do for the end of this month. That might be a bit too soon for me because fundage. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right. So what I was going to say about Play Expo, met some awesome people. Alex from Nintendo Arcade, only very briefly. I did, you know, all the best intentions and stuff like that. I was expecting to sort of see him knocking around the arcades and stuff like that. And it just didn't transpire. Like I said, the event was very different for me this year. Ordinarily, I would be bombing around on my own, just doing my own thing, you know, videoing a little bit here, seeing people, meeting them, shaking hands. But because I've got the daughter, you have to have eyes in the back of your head. Although she's old enough to be sensible, but still, it's a big old event, you know, and quite daunting. So I just had to keep an eye on her. That was all. So yeah, I kind of was off the boil a little bit, but it was great to meet Alex, who I asked to meet for the first time. I think that was it, actually, for the first time. There was no one new. Missed seeing Mark, Lactobilious Prime. I missed Andrew, Andy. What's he called? PS1 gamer fan now. I can't remember what his name is. There's a few people that I just didn't get to see. I briefly seen Rich King Retro at the bar. Briefly spoke to Daz, Jay, Lee Retro Chef. I can come to. I've got a few trades what I did with them guys and a few gift off Daz. Seen Adam, Amiga Old School. That's quite funny. He was digging in a box of Specky games. It was nice to actually see the Specky stall. That was a charity stall. That was apparently as well. So I don't know. It was weird because the first year that I went, they had like a PS4 area, and it was only it was relatively tiny. The sort of current gen was tiny. Now it's like fucking takes up a quarter of it. The card games takes up a quarter of it. You know, it's but there was a few more retro stalls than there was at Blackpool. But I think if you extrapolate out the size of the place, it's probably about the same percentage. But there was actually, I must admit, look, I can't knock it because I've got to get some good items finally at the end. A few bits of kicking myself because I should have bought them and I didn't. Again, I'll come to the sort of pick-up-y bit at the end. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else of note. Oh, shit. A big, massive, huge thanks to Steve from Retro and Lim and Harry Yak and all the guys at Retro and Lim. They looked after me and my daughter with some tickets. So, again,
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.
I'd like to think I'm a friend of Retro and Limbs, so you know, if ever they approach you to join them, you know, please take it seriously. They're a great bunch of lads, really are. Run a great site. And obviously Steve's a Liverpool fan, so that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Talking to Liverpool, mate, the host Keith, he was there with his daughter. So he was in the same boat as me. I think his daughter's a couple of years younger, and yeah, she'd had enough as well, bless her. So yeah, we were kind of sort of saying, you know, Blackpool was a great crack and stuff like that, but he makes you appreciate it a little bit more. And equally, for me, it's kind of like a trade-off. If I can just take, you know, if I have to, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean, from you know, my own sort of conscience, if I take her to Manchester and she's happy, then it kind of offsets it for me to go to Blackpool or any other place. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the tickets and getting in and stuff like that, I'm guessing the Showcase Masters or whatever they're called now were doing the sort of press tickets, and they were dreadful because we were let in, escorted to a place where there's meant to be someone to give you your ticket, and they didn't turn up, and we waited about 15-20 minutes with a bunch of other guys, and we just went, well, we're in, fuck it, we've got tickets, we'll come back later, which we did. So it's all good anyway, it's all good, it all worked out in the end. What else was there to note? I met Retro Collect guys, dropped them a bag of goodies off, and they looked after me and my daughter with a t-shirt, so I really appreciate that, lads. Awesome bunch of people. Again, you know, I use Retro Collect to obviously manage my collection, and I would advise you guys to do that. They do have they've got forums, they've got, you know, news feeds and all that kind of stuff. Go and check them out. Tom Lisi, who did the Dreamcast Junkyard. He obviously I think he helps out. Was part of Retro Collect as well. Met Tom is sound lad. We had a quick chat. I said I didn't really socialise too much. Played a lot in the arcades. I really did. I really enjoyed the arcades. That was top stuff. I think they were struggling with power because I kept seeing like a particular row of machines just kept dropping out all the time. Obviously, sucking too much juice, the machines kept failing, you know, breaking down. James mentioned he went, I was really interested in getting an arcade machine. He goes, but it's just two things now. It's the size of them, and then they're just so unreliable, aren't they? I said, well, yeah, but you've got to be, you know, like I said to James about Retro Dave, and in terms of the warp cab that he got, I said, for me, if you're going to get into arcades, you really need to be capable or confident enough to perhaps have a tinker and have a fix yourself, because it will cost you money otherwise. And Dave's proof of that, because he's learnt a few tricks and stuff and whatnot. So yeah. And anyway, talk about arcades. I keep forgetting people. Craig's here again. So I spent quite a lot of time with Craig actually. And what can you say about Craig? He's a great guy. Lovely man. We did a bit of a trade. Again, I'll come to that when I come to the trade stuff. But yeah, he was buying his statues. He likes his figurines. Well, say no more about them statues, eh, Craig? But he was really, you know, really generous. Bought them all breakfast, so we got there relatively early. Because I'm an early bird. Well, as you know, I'm an early bird. Talk about early birds. I thought I was early. We were in Wetherspoons having some brekkie, and then Daz texted me saying I'm at the front of the queue. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I think I got Craig a ticket. His Mrs. Jane had asked me to get it as a birthday present, so I don't think he was even thinking of going, but obviously he went. And so I said to him, "Well, look, you're all right now because Dad's at the front anyway." So we kind of like pushed in. Well, I didn't. Craig did. Who else do we see? Matt, Soulfunk Retro. We've seen Frank, another bloke. What's his name? Yeah, the human bloke, Russ Newton. His mate Paul on the back wheel. Retro Chef League. Pete on a retro tip. I think Pete was on fire actually because he was buzzing. Pete was like, I think I did kind of think, bastard, I should be doing that, because Pete was doing the right thing. He was buzzing about the place, you know, finding tubers. Doing the selfies, doing some footage. So I think Pete's might be the video to watch. Little Max, yes, I didn't video mate because I was there with my daughter. Little Max getting his old man. Gaming Glory, I think his old man's name is. He's got a Pac-Man little logo. Actually, you should tell me your name. I don't even know what your name is. I think it might be Paul or Steve or something. But anyway, I know his son's name's Max. He's there with his mate. And I said to his old man, I said, "Well, where was he?" He goes, he was with his mate. So he was buzzing about. I mean, for the kids, it must be a great event because they've got all these, like, especially if they're into the Marvel universe and all the comics and that. Because he has some outstanding. My daughter loves Doctor Who, and she wanted this freaking giant Dalek soft toys, about 30 quid. Then she wanted this anime stuffed lamb thing, that was 30. It's like, fuck off. Keith made me laugh because his daughter wanted this little tiny Mario shell, like that big, 5 quid, and he was like, "I ain't paying that, Stu." So yeah, it was good for different reasons. I think as a family event, it is really enjoyable if that's what you're into. You know, if you don't like your cartoons and your comics and your superheroes and that, then, and all your video games obviously, then maybe not. I don't think there's many people that I know that like card games other than Rich King Retro, you know, like the Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever you call it. But that's dead popular. That's a massive area. Massive. What else is there to note? Didn't Jay Cybersnake, Adam. Shocks turned up. I didn't think Shocks was going, he turned up. Woodlin and Carl, two fat bastards. Woodlin and Carl, well, it's the same person. Woodlin and Chris, although Chris is half the man he used to be. Yeah, you're looking well, Chris, must admit. I did forget to say that to you, pal. You are looking very well. Yeah, you can tell. I might have to go and get myself checked out. Could be something wrong with me, I'm sure there is. But no, well done, mate. You're looking really healthy. I think I must have missed someone. If I've missed someone, I do apologise. Did Retro Chef Lee's mate, his brother Paul. Did Craig's here again. Daz Zorro, Jay, Cybersnake. I don't think there's anybody else. There's a few people I missed. Like I say, I'm pretty sure there's more people there that I just didn't get to see. I think that's enough, don't you? Here's a little bit of footage. I say it's not anything extensive, it's just a little bit of footage. Just sort of encapsulate a little bit of her playing it. She loved it. She loved the arcades. She really did. I was actually a bit surprised because I thought she wanted to go and play some board games. They had the board game section, like old board games. She said, "Oh, it's Donkey Kong." I said, "I've got it. I've got it at home." But bless it, you know. But she really loved. She loved Ghouls and Ghosts. As tough as it was, I think because you, like I say, it's a very honest game. It's tough as fucking nails, but if you're good enough with it, you can progress. And I think that because she was progressing a little bit each time, she really got into that. She didn't like Burger Time. I love Burger Time. She loved basically Boogie Boy, which is I think it's called Speed Boogie. I think Craig mentioned it's the American version, but she liked that. What else did we play? We played Blastoids. She really enjoyed Blastoids, which was freaking killing my hand. Blastoids was. I don't know why. I think it's just the way I've had to sort of 3 fingers cramping them up to press all the 3 buttons, the thrust and the shooting. But yeah, she really enjoyed it. She really enjoyed the arcade. So I can't wait. Oh, shut up! I can't wait until my adapter comes for my X arcade, and I can get the Xbox up there with some main games and get to play. They had Double Dragon, they had Turtles, Mortal Kombat, they had Street Fighter. Couldn't get on them. Couldn't get on any of them. Obviously, you know, and this is what pisses me off because they make out, oh, we're going to do a Comic Con. Well, fuck that. Look how busy the fucking arcade is, really. I bet most of the people that went there didn't even go for the arcades. They went for something else. Oh, there's arcade machines there. We'll go and play them. That's what gets me. That's what, I don't know. Anyway, right, listen. Like I say, second time, enough of me talking about the event. I will just wrap it up and just sort of say, if it ends up being a Comic Con, I probably won't go. Well, I probably will go, but I'll probably go in the same context as I went this year. Take the daughter, make a day of it. You know, if there's something there, there's something there. If there's not, there's not, kind of thing. And then look to maybe utilise Blackpool. If Blackpool ends up, I'll give Blackpool one more chance. If it's like it was this year, then I won't be bothered going after next year. And then maybe look to sort of see how these retro markets progress. Okay, so a couple of trades. I'll do the gift first. Daz, Laurie, very kindly gifted me this game. Which is WarioWare Inc. Now, I'm pretty sure I got this, but I think mine might have some weird. It's either missing the manual or it's got something on the disc, like it was like a rental copy or something like that. But he very kindly said, "Look, don't worry, I'll bring it along," and he did. So, Daz, awesome stuff, buddy. Really do appreciate that. Did a trade with James. I had, because I took some SPs up there to do some wheeling dealing with Rick. I didn't really ask any of the guys actually on the stalls because I don't know. There wasn't anything else that I really wanted. So James, he's obviously into his Game Boys, and I don't know why he didn't ask me before. Anyway, he wanted an SP. I said, look, he had a few bits and bobs in his bag. I'm pretty sure he's looked after a few of you guys out there, so you'll hopefully mention him anyway. But I swapped him a black SP, pretty good nick actually, for Mario Land 3D. And then with Lee, Retro of the Chef. This is pre-arranged. I took him down again, and he's trading me Vampire Hunter, Darkstalker's Revenge, Japanese Sega Saturn. So I've got this on the PAL, but my one, even though the disc's absolutely, because I'm pretty sure this is Night Stalkers, isn't it? Darkstalker's Revenge, yeah, it is. It's called Night Stalkers, Night Warriors, sorry. But my one, for some bizarre reason, doesn't load up, then there's not a mark on the freaking disc. So I just thought bollocks to it. You know, I've got something that Lee wants. Lee's got something that I want, and this is mint. It needs a new case. He told me that it's only a CD case. I should have got one of them today at the car boot actually. And then from the leg end, that is Craig's here again. I think he forgot that I had a particular item for him beforehand. I said, oh, because I was going to bring it to Blackpool. He was spectacled to Blackpool. So I took this particular item. I said, oh, I've got that thing that you wanted, etc. And we worked a trade out. Well, we didn't actually work a trade out. I said, look, I'll bring it. He was rattling on about some of the bits and bobs. When bizarrely he keeps all his pickups in his car boot, which is weird. It does make me laugh. But yeah, because he had this game and he was talking about it, and I was thinking, that'd be fine. That'd be enough for me. I want to knock it up to you first. And he sort of said something about it. I said, well, I don't mind having that. We went, really? I went, well, yeah. He was like, okay. Craig's very good with knowing the value on certain systems and the condition, stuff like that. And so he was convinced that, I think he thought that I knew it as well, but I kind of don't. I know enough, but nowhere near as much as him. And I was like, that's cool. And then later on he did something else. He said, well, that's to pay part for that for. Well, no, we're squared up for that, Craig. He was like, well, no, because that one's, when it's only, and he classes this as loose car, it's only worth half its value and stuff. I said, look, we're squared. Stop now. Stop being too generous. But anyway, it means absolutely nothing to you. So I sort of basically said to Craig, look, take this item. If you've got now, you can dig out. We'll just call it an IOU. You can just square me up later on. Don't worry about it. We had this particular game, which is a shooter, and it's called Override on the PC Engine. So the story goes that Craig seen this. I think he bought it from France. It's all, you know, it's a proper case, etc. It's got the issue card. But what he didn't realise, because he can't read French, and I say he can't read French, he can't read fucking anything, Craig. He's blind as a bastard bat. I said that to him. I said, have you got a prescription windscreen? Because he doesn't wear glasses either. He can't see anything. And obviously he can't read French. And what it is, it's a photocopied cover, which obviously is not good enough for him. But it's all right for me, because I don't, you know, although I would love to have all the PC Engine games, mint condition and all that kind of. But it doesn't. I'm not overly fussed. It's in a box. It looks. You wouldn't fucking know any different. Trust me. Unless you looked at it really close up, right, and then you looked at the inside. That's when you know. But like that, or on the shelf like that, you ain't gonna know. So I was happy with that. So I was like, cheers, sorted, great stuff. I'll come later on to what happened, but yeah, he's a bugger. So that's all that's all trade really. I did have a couple of games I took, but I just wasn't about enough. I think that's the thing, which I don't know. I can live with it. I can wait. I can bide my time. Like I say, I've got a feeling that Pete on a retro tip, he's gonna have a good video. I think he had the right idea. Anyway, right. So pickups from the vendors, if you like. So I ummed and ahed before going. You know, is there anything I want? There's one game I'm still adamant I'm going to get or want to get is Magician Lord AES for the Neo Geo. I haven't come across it yet. I was in the event early, you know, because I had a press pass, so the public weren't in there. Trying to get my daughter to sort of bomb around the stalls with me, just so I can just scan them. It's a fucking nightmare. I did manage to do it. I didn't see it. I think Console Passion only had a couple of games. They've gone downhill. Let's be honest. They're not the company they used to be. They've not got the stock they used to be. It was one of the stall that had some AES titles. Again, it was just like the not King of Fighters, Art of Fighting games and stuff like that, which would have been nice to have. But I could have bought them, but I just didn't. It was odd because I was just focused on that particular game. I was always on the lookout for NES, some NES titles. I don't know what it is. I mentioned this to Craig. I'll come to a certain pickups before when, that we chatted about. But the other side was the Cube. The GameCube stuff, yeah, as you know, I'm sort of closing in now on that. And part of me's thinking, are these some of these games that I need? Are they going to turn up on CEX? Because essentially that's kind of where it's being sourced from, or trades, or got look, be a lady, eat a car boot, but it's not. That's not likely. So anyway, I was at a particular store, Retro Plushy Games. I think this guy's always pretty expensive. I think he's one of these GGG people. But anyway, there are two games that I've never seen that pop up on CX as of yet. To be fair, the prices weren't like, oh my, really? They were all right. I got a couple of quid off. I think I paid like 13 quid each for these, something like that. I got about 4 quid off. This one I've never seen. There's another one that I need to get. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is like the Nickelodeon. I think it's the Nickelodeon version, isn't it? Yeah, it's like the cel shaded variant. So the only other one I need is like the movie, the one based on the movie, which I think's the same name, which doesn't help on CX's site. And the other one I got is this one, Darkened Sky. Again, as you can see, 15 quid. To be fair, the advantage of going to these shows is you can open it up, there's got everything in it, you can check the disc, and all that kind of palaver. I cocked up because they did have another game, which is Summoner. And I don't know what it is in my head. I just went, I've got that one. And I think the problem is because Summoner looks, I don't know, in my sort of mangled brain, it looks very similar to Lost Kingdoms 2, because it's got a female on the front, but I could have bought it, I didn't. What am I going to do? I cocked up again at Console Passion, because they had the Naruto game, which is a European release. And it's 31 quid. And I said to James, have you got internet? I couldn't get internet, I couldn't check anything, fucking phone was shit. Ends up being my phone needed rebooting, but James couldn't get any internet anyway. Turns out, actually 31 quid's a fucking good price. So I was gutted about that. Them's the breaks. So, couple of nice Cube, 2 more titles off of the list there. Can't be bad, can it? So, going before buying them Cube titles, there was a store, and one of the things I sort of said to, I was talking to Craig's here again and James. I said, "Was there anything?" I said, "Well, look, to be honest, and don't hate me for this, don't beat me up. I don't have any of the Castlevania games on the NES." Rob, Champion 2D Rob, bought Castlevania 3 from underneath me at Play Blackpool from Ricky, Warp Zone Gaming. So I said, well, hopefully if Ricky's here, I might have a crack at getting perhaps all 3. So again, skimming through the stores, early doors, probably didn't know it. I seen one of them. That's not a bad price. Went to another store, they had the first one, which was twice the price of the second one, in terms of like the series. I was thinking, actually, that second one's pretty good price then, really. No one else had any of the series at all. So I went back to the first store, which was kind of like an indie guy, an independent guy, not an Indian guy, Scouse lad. And I sort of got a few games together. And, what was it? Oh, he had some Game Gear games. Again, I got a weird thing about the Game Gear. It was Micro Machines. And he sort of said, "Oh no, they're bundled with that." I said, "Oh, okay, don't worry about it." And he went, "Yeah." He goes, "Actually, yeah, fuck it. I'll put some outs with it. Which ones did you want?" So it was Micro Machines, and it was this one, Bugs Bunny, Double Trouble. And then I had 3 NES games, and he was basically charging £10 for Micro Machines. So I said, "I'll put that one back, actually." So we did a deal. which worked out at these 3 NES titles. Luckily I had my phone, which, this is what pisses me off in my own self. I checked my phone for this NES title, didn't have it. Don't bother checking my phone for the GameCube title Summoner. No, don't bother about that. I know exactly what I've got on the GameCube. Yeah, right. So the 3 games that I got, so I essentially got this for free. Okay? Because what he was saying is, with the micro machines, it was 60 quid and he chucked that in for free. I'll tell you what, put micro machines back, and if I can still have that one for free for these other 3 games, then it's a deal. So fine. So 50 quid, you can see that there's got prices on them anyway. So I grabbed this one because I've seen this one about, and I think it's one of the early NES titles by Capcom. I was cheeky again because I snaffled a dust sleeve, but it's Trojan. So that was 10 quid, Lars. Obviously, the deal was with these in terms of price was that I got the Game Gear game for free. This one I was missing from earlier in the year at Play Blackpool. I don't think either no one had it, or I think I spent enough on NES titles by then. But it is the New Zealand story, and this is a great game on any system. Played that to death on the Amiga, loved it on the Amiga. I'm pretty sure that's classed as a hidden gem on the NES. And so the second one that I got for 20 quid, which is about its going rate, is Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. So yeah, I mean, I did the thing last night, just come back and just double check some of the prices just to make sure that I wasn't overpaying. This is about this price. I mean, it's a great label. You know, you can check the end label, you can check everything out, and it's fine. It's about its going rate, give or take. But yeah, no one else. The only other one that had Castlevania 1, and someone wanted 40 quid for it. So I was thinking, actually 20 quid for the second one, probably in a bad price. But it turns out that is probably about the eBay price. But at these shows, I hate to say it, sometimes you're paying more than eBay. You can catch them sort of slipping, to coin the Game Chasers phrase. Console Passion, Naruto, that sells for 50 quid. So I checked online, one of the sales has been 60 quid and it was there for £31, and I fucking went back twice. I'm kicking myself. Oh wow, now you can do. So that's about it. And to be honest, I was quite happy. I got one of the Castlevania. I got a little bit of what I wanted. Got a bit of NES. I got one of the Castlevania titles that are sort of at the 3. Obviously, bear in mind that number 3, Dracula's Curse, is only NTSC USA. They've got a PAL release. Got a Japanese release. A couple of Cube titles. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, spending money in the door. Some fucking soft plushy toys and necklaces. She's like a magpie. She's been a magpie ever since she was a kid. Anything shiny, jewellery and necklaces and brooches and that. And that's what they had, a lot of pearl beads stuff and some nice actually like metal artwork. She got like a Triforce pendant necklace, which to be fair, looks quite cool. It's not like some cheap old tat. It probably is, but it looks quite good. So I'm thinking, yeah, I've still got some money in my pocket. I'm not doing too bad here, Been a great day. I think it was about 20 past 12 because I think I bumped into Craig early, about just before 12, and he said, "Oh, everyone's meeting at the bar for 12 o'clock." I thought, great idea. Again, Daz always comes up with the best ideas. And I said to Ellie, I said, "Look, we're going to go have a beer and meet my mates." And she was a little bit like, so she stood with us at the start, and I think she just didn't. She went and stood just on the side and didn't like that because so I got her. There was a chair, and I sort of looked, have a sit down. Just let me just have this finish this pint. Craig very kindly bought me a drink. Offered my daughter a drink. She didn't want it. And I must admit that the draft beer was absolutely fucking rank. It was a wrong un. Smelt wrong and tasted wrong. Tasted metallic and ugh. But that's no sort of slight on Craig. I do appreciate the beer, mate. Really do. But obviously met all the lads there, Lee and his brother and stuff. And Lee said to me, he goes, "Oh," because I was talking, so I've got a couple of NES titles. I said, "That's about it. There ain't much NES about." He goes, "What about that store with all the American games?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Like Friday the 13th, which Lee looked after me with and we're doing a trade for." I remember that. So, "Oh, yeah, there's one there." And earlier on, when I was sort of skimming across, there was a store that had blankets across everything, like white sheets. And actually, I've got the story completely asked about face. Didn't go to the bar, forget that bit. When we were bombing around, there was a store with these white sheets across everything. Obviously covered all the games. Don't know, maybe they went to get some breakfast or something, I don't know. So yeah, just obviously you can't look. There's no one there, so you just sort of walk past it. Don't forget, no one's in there from the public, basically. And that was it. Didn't think too much of it. And it got just before 12 o'clock. Craig had said to me, "Oh, everyone's meeting at the bar at about 12 o'clock-ish." I said, "Okay, yeah, great." And I said to Ellie, "Right, we're going to go have a drink." I said, "I'll tell you what, shall we just walk down the roads?" Because what we were doing, we tended to sort of hop between different bits. If she's seen something, we'd sort of cross over and stuff like that. So tell you what we'll do, we'll go up that one, back up that one, up that one, back up, literally just do it properly, so to speak. I'm glad I did, because this stall that had this blanket across it, obviously Craig was with us then, because I sort of said, "Yeah, we'll go." And he said, "Oh, I'll tag along," and he bought some figures. And anyway, we got to this particular stall that I hadn't seen, because obviously it'd been covered up. And I can't remember which title it was. There's something on the left, basically as you walked towards it, on the left hand side, there's some NES titles that were boxed. And I can't remember which one it was. One caught my attention. So, "Oh, that's quite interesting." Then, because there hadn't been any NES titles at this point. That's quite a good one. And as you walk around it, there's like boxes of them all along the side. So it turns out, anyway, and to be fair to the lady, I think it was her brother's stall. She was there. She was quite nice. And she sort of said, "These are all American, blah, blah, blah." And she started trying to sort of say about converters and Retron. I said, "Don't really love your preaching to converted, fully aware." So I spent a fair old chunk of my money there. And I could have spent more. Part of me's thinking, should I have? I don't know, because I don't know enough. And even Craig was at a loss. The Oracle was at a loss, because he said, "I don't really know a great deal about NES." I said, "No, neither do I." I think the thing was as well, the pricing was kind of like a little bit, that seems like a really good price. So, I don't know. A few of these have got UK releases. These, I'm pretty sure all these are American. I think they are. I'm pretty sure they are. Overall, okay, so there's a few that are overpriced. Again, I've sort of just very roughly, I look at complete listings on eBay. A few have done all right, a few have not done so good on, blah blah blah. On balance, I think I've done all right. Because don't forget, because they're American, chance of getting a UK seller very slim. So you always got that risk of import and all that kind of shit. So I spent I spent 120 quid, right? So I had this pile. I said, "Right, what's the best you can do with these?" And he come back and he went, 100. Well, it goes, they add up to 114 quid. I said, "What can you do a ton then?" "Yeah, I can do 105. I was like, "I don't know, nah," because it's like 100 quid. He was like, And he sort of said about a particular game, because to be fair, he knew a little. You know, some of these guys don't really appreciate the games. He kind of did a little bit. He went, oh, this one's a really, you know, rare one. I'll come to that in a minute. He won 25 quid, and I said, yeah, that's a bit rich for me, because a lot of these are only 5, 6, 7, 8 quid games, right? And he was like, I don't know why he wanted to get rid of it, and he was like, I'll tell you what, if he goes, I'll let you have that one, and we'll call it 120 quid. And I was like, okay then. And then he started talking about another game, and I'm glad he bloody did as well, and I'll come to that in a minute. And I think it's got 8 quid on it. I think he wanted 7 quid, and Craig bought it, and then give it to me. And I was like, what are you doing? He went, I don't collect NES, you do. I said, yeah, but what did you buy it for? He goes, and he made out for the breakfast, and then he said it was because I owed you money from the trade, because where is it? Because Overdrive's only. I said, no, stop. That's Craig all over, honestly. Oh, he's worse than Ocarina fella, the daft twin rover, Carl. Anyway, what did I get from this guy? A shit ton of NES titles. Jesus Christ, my back was dying here. Some of these I mean, some of them I know of, some I don't know what they're like on the NES. They're complete turds. There was loads more there that looked from the labels really interesting. I was saying to Craig, what do you think? He was like, I don't know anything about it. It looks okay. Someone went by purely by the publisher or the software house. This one I do know about, Star Tropics. And then bizarrely, when I got back home, I thought, oh shit, I've got that. But I checked on my collection, I haven't got it. But I'm probably need to check in the shelf that I haven't got it. 6 quid for Star Tropics. Still a deal on it. I don't care what planet you're on. Dig Dug 2. So some of these these are not in retro collectors. I've never seen a UK release. Dig Dug, man. Who doesn't like Dig Dug? Cobra Command. So this is by Data East, right? And I said this to Craig. I was like, I'm sure that's an arcade game. And he's like, oh yeah, I think it is. Anyway, Craig, it turns out I think this is Choplifter, or a variant of Choplifter, as we would know it on the Master System. This is another one I took a bit of a flyer on. King's Knight. That just says a load of gobbledygook top. So I took a flyer because it says Squaresoft. I know it sounds down. 6 quid. I don't know. Leave them. This one, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I've watched a few videos of some people talking about this game, and they rate it. Again, it's one of them weird things where I can't remember anything else important other than weird, obscure games. Top Secret Episode, Golgo 13. £5. It wasn't a £5 because it's all bundled in, like, you know. Couple of more. No, actually, this one here. Now, I've seen this. There's a PAL version of this, and it's called something slightly different. Essentially the same game. And there's a typo on this, on the American version. It's Eliminator Boat Jewel. But if you look at the label, it says Eliminonta. I think the PAL one's got like some guy's face on it or something like that. It's apparently meant to be a good game. Right. A couple of weird, obscure ones. Defenders of Dynatron City. What the hell's that? The label looks awesome. And what attracts me to it is by Lucasfilm. I have no idea. I don't know what it's. I don't know. I took a complete flyer on it. This one is like a no-brainer. 1943. You think 1943? That's not a PAL. Nope. 1942, I think, if it's even on the NES. But there's no 1943. The Battle of Midway PAL release. This one was quite interesting because I thought he might have known this. And me and Craig, and I didn't know actually it's about Craig Craig's got a weird thing. Actually, shit, I should have mentioned this. One of the arcade machines there was fucking this, and I couldn't get on. I queued up. I stood behind some guy for about 10 minutes, trying to have a go at it. Couldn't get no chance. But obviously, those from way back when I used to do videos, I always had the statue of Dr. Henry Jones, Indiana Jones, and I do. He has a soft. I've got all the figures in the loft somewhere. So I have a weird thing about Indiana Jones. I love it, and Craig is known on the game forums as Indiana Jones. Didn't know that. But yeah, they had the Temple of Doom arcade machine there. What the thuggy guards. Couldn't get fucking near it anyway. Go to this stall. Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. 12 quid. Not cheap, relatively, you know. I don't know, because I don't know what game it. I said to him, what about that? He was like, I don't know. I said, he went, I didn't even know there was an NES version of it. I said, no, neither did I. Turns out, some of these, like this one was probably overpriced. I think the guys probably just put, because Indiana Jones, the IP, you know, oh, it's worth more money. And some of he's marked down and all, you know, undervalued. So it kind of balanced itself out to a certain degree. Another one case in point is this one, which is the American version of Dizzy, which has the sort of dip switchy gold cart, you know. Because I think our version is like the Codemasters one, but it's not a proper cart. It's like the Game Genie with the plastic frame with just the end cart bit. But yeah, there you go. Position being. Anyway, fantastic Dizzy. Still going. What's the best way to do these now? This one boxed. Box ain't in the greatest condition, I must admit. I think this is still a good price, which is 8 quid. It's a Tengen cartridge tubing. Me and the daughter play tubing. Forgot to say that as well. She couldn't get the controls because obviously with tubing you have front and left paddle, throw a can, and then back and left paddle to obviously slow yourself down. She couldn't get it. I do like these Tengen carts, so big black carts. Yeah, it's got the. It says it's got the instructions. No, it has got the instructions, and it's got like the Tengen sleeve. So that's quite nice to see. I could have spent so much more money this guy. I really could have. I think if I'd gone back today, I would have bought the rest of the games. Now the other one I got, I'm just trying to work out the best way of doing this, is this one. This has never got a power release either. Commando. And you would thought Commando's on the NES. I'm sure it is. I don't think it is, you know. But it's not on the thing. Now bizarrely, it's called Captain Commando. Captain Commando Challenge Series. So obviously that's where Captain Commando comes from the NES. From the SNES. I'm running out of time here. But what threw me was when I looked at the manual, it's like some pink thing that says Captain Commando on it. So he was 15 quid. Yeah, bit, you know, bit on the high side, but I say overall it balances itself out. Last couple of titles, we'll rattle through these because I think I'm losing battery power. 2 ones that I didn't even know was out. I've got the first one. I'm pretty sure I've got the first one. Ikari Warriors 2 Victory Road, and Ikari Warriors 3 The Rescue. 6 and 8 quid. The one that he wanted to give me, that he basically said, right, we'll call it 120 quid, which I was wanting to pay 100, so I've got this for 20 quid, basically with everything else, is Super C, which is obviously Contra. And then the last one that he then went back and said, oh, this is a great game. It's 8 quid on it. He goes, you can have it for 7. And Craig bought it. And I was like, okay, whatever. And it actually turns out, in terms of retro collect, I don't know, from a powerful side, it's very rare. And it's Werewolf, The Last Warrior. And again, it's by, I'm sure it's by Data East. Yeah, it is, it's by Data East. You can't see it, but it does say Data East underneath the label. But I know that from checking it. So there we go. Another massive NES haul. I haven't got any space in the cabinet, in the shelf. Got no space at all. Play Expo Manchester 2015 was really enjoyable for different reasons this year. I think that's the best way I can do it. I mean, meeting the guys again, you know, unfortunately didn't spend anywhere near enough time with Daz and Jay and all that kind of stuff. I spent some quality time with Craig. He's always a good time. Craig is such a nice man. James, absolutely awesome. I can't thank him enough. He looked after me and the daughter, give us a lift there, give us a lift back, and all that kind of stuff. I think he enjoyed himself. He got to meet some people. He did a few nice deals, and he got a feel for it. I think he got a bit more of a bug as well, which is nice to see. I would love to spend more time with you guys, but it was a different event for me this year, and fingers crossed they pull the socks up, and perhaps, like I say, we look to the some of these retro markets instead. But that's it. Take it easy. I've got to charge the battery up, and then I'm going to go Tales of the Boot. That's how we're completely slaughtered for Tales of the Boot and the pickups. Take it easy, YouTube, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.